Hey everyone, welcome to Post to Post. Thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Neil if you're new, and we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to combine my love of the NHL with my love of flags. As you guys know, if you're a longtime viewer, I do collect flags. I've talked about my collection recently. Actually, this year I did a bit of a flag tour in my garage. I kind of had them all up on the wall and stuff. If you haven't seen that video, please go check it out. But I've unboxed lots of flags on the channel as well. It's just always something I've been interested in and interested in collecting. So why not combine the two things of hockey and flags and ranking. I mean, I like rankings too, as you guys know, so I decided to look at every single NHL city and try and pull that city's flag and then try and rank it. Now, it gets a little bit complicated. I'm going to say this up front. It gets complicated because there's a couple teams that just are weird, like Colorado. Look, that's a state flag, okay? But Colorado plays in Denver, so do I use the state flag that's on their jersey, or do I use the city flag? In that situation, I've used their city flag, so it's not this one. You'll see what their city flag looks like coming up if you're not aware of what it looks like. And then the other one, the Islanders, well, technically they don't really have, like Belmont doesn't have a flag. I don't know if Brooklyn does, but they don't play in Brooklyn, and I don't know if Nassau has a flag. It gets complicated with the Islanders, so I chose the New York State flag. But then that's also weird because there are other teams that play in New York State, like Buffalo and the Rangers. But anyway, you'll see as we go through. I did my best to try and pick the most applicable flag for each team. I ranked them. Some of the flags aren't great quality, but here we go. Starting off at number 32, just going to bring it up on my screen here, I've put New Jersey. So New Jersey plays in Newark, so I chose the Newark flag, and I had a real hard time finding a good quality photo of this, and even this looks like it's from like 1680. Like, it's very old. And I think for kind of that reason, I've decided to rank it very low. It's not modern at all. It's hard to kind of depict what's going on. There's a random hand just coming up holding like a fishing net thing or a scoop thing. I don't even know where it's coming from. So it's just, I don't know, it's a little bit of an awkward design. It's also weird that there's a big giant inner blue stroke. So it's just, I don't know, it's just weird to me. So I decided to rank it last. It would be nice if Newark had a modern flag, and if they do, I couldn't find it. Number 31, I've got Detroit, and not a great quality here that I found. I had a really hard time finding a good quality of the Detroit flag, but there's so much going on. So there's a fleur-de-lis in the bottom left, or a combination of it. There's some stars, which is very, United States and American, and then the opposite corner, down below is almost the other half of the flag, but then up above, you've got these line things that look like they're off the Prince Edward Island provincial flag. There's just a lot going on. So there's like United States, Quebec, Prince Edward Island, and then the Michigan, Detroit part in the middle. So it's just kind of all over the place for me. So for that reason, I've kind of ranked it pretty low. And then in 30th, I've got Winnipeg. So it's got my favorite colors, or one of my favorite color combinations, blue and yellow. You almost can't go wrong there. But I almost didn't like the cross section. I guess I'm more of a horizontal flag person. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. But yeah, it's okay. Like, it's ranked low, but it's okay. I don't really know what's going on here in the middle as either. Like, you've got this like weird castle thing with no door and two Christmas trees on the side of it, and it's just a kind of a weird shield shape as well with stuff going on. It's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just being nitpicky. Next, we've got Las Vegas. Not Vegas, Las Vegas. If we're talking city flags, we've got to say Las Vegas. So I love what's going on here, like in that little scene. There's there's a cactus tree. There's a sun, almost in the shape of like a sundial. You've got some buildings. The Hoover Dam is in there as well. A plane up above and stuff in the background. Lots of text around like that little circle shape is really cool. But the rest of it is just kind of weird to me. And also, blue just doesn't fit with Vegas. I've been to Vegas, as you guys know, if you've watched the vlogs from that three or so weeks that I was there. There's not really a lot of blue in Vegas. It's a very like desaturated area because of all the sand and the desert and the rocks and whatnot. So the blue just seems very off-putting. Not off-putting, just unnatural, I guess, for a Vegas flag. But whatever. Number 28, Carolina. So this one's fine. The colors are cool. At least like things are linear and not diagonal, which is great. But I didn't like the weird like Christmas wreath thing coming over the top with the red and then the green Christmas wreath. I just got so much Christmas vibes. I like the tree in the middle though, and then the yellow kind of around there. I don't really hate or dislike any of these immensely. Like the Newark one was the only one I would really consider that I disliked. This one's a fine one. Number 27, Pittsburgh. So the colors obviously make quite a bit of sense here, and I would even though I don't really like this flag a lot, I don't dislike it, but I would like to see this flag on a Pittsburgh jersey. I think it would match very well, and I think it would provide a lot of interest. As a jersey collector, I would love to have a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey with this on the shoulder, kind of like how Colorado does with this one. The only thing that I would say that I don't like is that checkered pattern in the middle. It's blue, and it's just I don't really like repeating patterns like that in general. So if I was going to edit this, I would remove it, but it's a fine flag. Number 26, Minnesota, aka St. Paul. So Minnesota does not represent the entire of Minnesota. They do play in a singular area, and that is within St. Paul. So I had to choose that flag, and the colors are they're strange because we're talking Minnesota. I'm expecting some green, obviously some red, maybe a little bit of off-white or something. No, we got blue, red, and yellow in your face. But it's actually kind of a cool flag. I like the fact that there's that ribbon down below that says St. Paul. That's a call out. Like, if you look at this flag, 99% of people aren't going to know what this is or where it comes from unless it says St. Paul at the bottom. So I like the city call out along the bottom there, and big, that's pretty big. Where Detroit, it was in the middle there, it was kind of small. This one's cool, but just the colors are very jarring. Number 25, Montreal. So I'm sure a lot of you may have actually seen the Montreal city flag because we see it in concepts sometimes. A lot of concept designers like to put that Montreal city flag right there on the shoulder. So it's not my favorite, but I am very familiar with it. So I don't necessarily like or dislike it. There are things that I definitely like about it, but things I don't really like about it either. I don't like the tree in the middle because it looks dead. The flowers are cool, the fleur-de-lis that's colored up there as well, but it's just this brown dead tree. It's just, I don't know, it's just weird to me. Number 24, I put Edmonton. I like the colors, but what's going on in the middle is just, you got this guy, and he's got a musket, or not a musket, but a rifle or something in his hand, and then a lady in a dress, and which is, all this stuff is fine, but there's just so much of it. Like, there's a wheel thing in the middle, and then this haystack thing down below, and some text down below as well, and another banner up top, and I don't even know what this thing is up. Like, is that a crown? Is that a shield? It's so busy. I think this is a really cool flag that if you owned it, you could really appreciate it, but seeing it flapping and flying and stuff on a pole, it'd be very hard to determine what's going on here. So I'm trying to be critical as I go through these because I don't know how else to rank them, and I guess for that kind of reason I ranked it low. Number 23, we've got Nashville, and do those colors look familiar? Well, they should if you're a fan of the Nashville Predators, because essentially those are the Nashville Predators colors. And if that is the reason that Nashville has the colors that they do, I am learning this for the first time. I know there is a lot of connections with teams to their cities, but I don't know the nature or the process that went through to pick the colors for every team. That is something I would love to know. Some teams I know, but Nashville's not one of them. So if their colors are inspired by the city flag here, I learned something. So that's pretty cool. I like to see this. I like to see the correlation between city and team, kind of like Pittsburgh. So this is great to see this. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that it was a little bit busy on the interior. Also a little jarring. There's an eagle thing off to the left. It looks like it's eating a dead body or trying to. And then you have what I think is maybe an Aboriginal individual holding a skull in his hand. So it's kind of jarring and aggressive. But the thing I actually really disliked about it was that just odd yellow piece off to the right of the flag. I guess if you're looking at me, it would be on this side maybe. But it's fine. And again, it's a fine flag. Number 22, we've got Philadelphia. Blue and yellow, heck yeah, I like those colors. But again, maybe a little bit busy in the middle, and just that odd arm coming up, holding a yellow chalk stick or something. It's just, I don't know, it's just real creepy to me that arm's just kind of coming up out of nowhere. And it all makes sense. There's a really cool imagery on here, and I think it's neat to have that on there, especially the boat. That's really cool. But again, it's very, very busy. From far away, you would have no idea what was going on here. But I love the colors. Number 21, we got Columbus. I honestly was not expecting any yellow at all in this Columbus flag. I was expecting more of maybe the Ohio State flag vibes. Same colors, but kind of rearranged a little bit differently. But we do have those colors in the middle in that kind of almost interstate shield kind of look. I love the boat that's in there in the middle. The eagle having, the top of the head almost be like I guess that would be the Capitol building of Washington. But maybe it also resembles the state building or something within Columbus. I'm not sure, but I like the symbolism there, and obviously the flag coming out of there. So there's a lot of really cool, intricate things about this, but again, maybe just a little bit busy, but I was really thrown off by the color here. Number 20, Seattle. This is completely different than anything else that we've looked at. It doesn't feel like a city flag to me. It looks like a special event, like decathlon or I don't know, some kind of marathon banner or something that's for charity. I can't really describe it. Maybe it's because it says Goodwill. I don't know, but I love the colors. The colors are really cool. And then almost like the waves and wind style patterning in the top left is really neat. And I think that symbol, it almost looks like one of those Gaelic symbols or something. So I there's some like dimension going on and stuff here, which is pretty cool. But it is almost too busy overall. Number 19, so the Islanders. Here's where I chose the New York State flag. I didn't know what to choose for the Islanders, so I just went with the state flag. I decided to kind of put it in the middle. This is an iconic flag, so I'm very used to it. I love the little scene there in the middle. The sun looks pretty, actually kind of angry, but yeah, this is an iconic one. Number 18, Washington. So this is obviously should look a little bit familiar with those stars, maybe some stripes as well. Picture this: the Washington Capitals come out with a white alternate jersey, similar to their current alternate, which is the big W, and it's got the blue primary one, but a white version, but not with the big W, but with some red striping like this, some white star or some red stars, maybe not so much blue or maybe no blue, just a red and white jersey based on the flag. I think that would be really cool. Now's a good time to tell you that you should tune in this Friday coming, because I've got a very special jersey concept video coming for you. As I was preparing for this video to film today, this morning, I got an email from a jersey concept designer submitting city flag inspired jersey concepts. And I usually don't do this. In fact, I basically never do this, but I push a series ahead. So while this person submitted it, they would go to the back of the line typically, and we would not see their work for 3 months. And this is not good for the other people waiting, but I just felt the timing was perfect, so I bumped them up the list. This Friday, you will see that series, city flag inspired jersey concepts. I'm very excited for it. Haven't seen them. It's going to be a reaction video, okay? So this video kind of ties in with that one. So if you're excited and this video is new to you, please hit the subscribe button so you check out that video. Number 17, we've got Anaheim, and if I'm not mistaken, this is actually kind of a new flag. Just maybe in the last 5 or 6 years, Anaheim either didn't have one or they had a different one, and then this is the new one. I really like the colors, 2 shades of blue, looks great. Very simple stars, but this doesn't scream Anaheim to me. I would like it to maybe say Anaheim in there a little bit, but yeah, it's a nice flag. Number 16, we got San Jose, and I'll say that I was not expecting these colors either, but on that same note, I would like to see a San Jose Sharks jersey inspired by this. I can kind of see that deeper, almost richer gold or yellow with that deeper blue. It's not close to St. Louis because they use different shades, specifically the yellow. It's not close to Buffalo because the blue is lighter, and it's not close to Nashville because the yellow is not gold, it's more of a yellow, and also the blue is a little bit deeper. So the specific shades of this flag would really be cool to see in a jersey format, and I think San Jose having their logo kind of colorized with these colors would be very cool. So although this does not scream San Jose Sharks to me, I do like this flag for that regard. I like the colors. I don't necessarily like the middle of the jersey. I'm so used to talking about jerseys. The middle of the flag, I do find it just slightly busy within the center. Number 15, the New York Rangers. So this is very strange. So technically this is New York City flag, but this just obviously screams Islanders to me, like New York Islanders. So I kind of wish that I could have used this one for the Islanders because the colors are right there. They get the orange and the blue and whatnot, but this is technically New York City flag. I had to put it to the Rangers. So sorry, Rangers fans, but this isn't necessarily your colors, but I do like this. I think the orange and the blue are very complementary. Again, a lot of stuff going on in the middle. To own this flag would be way better than seeing it on a flagpole. You'd really appreciate it. But yeah, very busy flag in the middle. Number 14, Chicago. So for the really, really simplistic jerseys like Anaheim, I'm kind of complaining a little bit because there's not enough going on. And then the overcomplicated ones, I'm like, oh, this is too complicated. But I'm just trying to be overly critical. So this one, simple one, very close to kind of maybe the Washington one, the Anaheim one. But this is very iconic. Okay, the Chicago City flag is extremely iconic. Out of all of the NHL teams, of all the concepts that we've ever looked at, the one that gets the most flag treatment or inspiration is Chicago. We see a ton of Chicago Blackhawks concept based on this city flag. So this should look familiar to basically everyone who's watched a lot of the concepts videos in the past. And it's a beautiful flag. Like the really sky blue paired with the red and then the white. It's a really kind of a standout flag. So I appreciate that, and I would love to see a jersey inspired by this. Number 13, Calgary. You may have actually seen this logo as well. Some concept designers put this on Calgary Flames concepts, so it's not that unfamiliar to us. However, the flag is a bit new to me. I actually did not know what the Calgary flag looked like other than the logo kind of that was on here. So as you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but along the right side of the C, that makes up a cowboy hat. Alberta is basically the Texas of Canada. So that having that cowboy hat in there, it makes perfect sense. This is a great flag for Calgary. Number 12, LA. I had to put this in the top 15 just because it's so crazy. Like with some of the other ones, I felt like some of the colors were very jarring. But this one almost, like I feel California vibes with this one. It's kind of like has a Jamaican vibe, but it's very Californian at the same time, very vibrant. So the red, the green, and the yellow, obviously the primary colors here. But then on the interior, you've got some callouts to some other things. I can see the United States flag in there a little bit, or kind of an arrangement of it. The California state flag that's in there, not exactly, but similar. And then two other things that don't actually look familiar to me at all, but I like the symbolism and the imagery that's in there. So this is actually a pretty cool flag. Number 11, Toronto. Toronto's got a weird flag, and I like the idea behind this, having the big like white things come up and kind of over to make the T, and almost like the negative space leading down into the maple leaf there, the Canadian maple leaf. The red and the blue look great together, complemented with the white. So like all of that is great. It's so different than any other flag, so it's really cool. But the fact that it's off center drives me nuts. Why would you not put that in the center? It just drives me nuts. And maybe I just found a bad picture of it and it's extended or cropped on one side. I don't know. But that needs to be centered, guys. Come on. Number 10, we've got Boston. I love these colors. Again, blue and yellow, very complementary. And just the middle, it's busy, but that whole section is so much bigger than a lot of the other ones that it doesn't necessarily feel too busy. You've got a scene in the background, which is, Boston Harbor, and it says like Bostonia in the middle. Like that's a weird name. I don't know, it's just weird. 1630, the year down below as well. And I can see a bit of the water, some of the clouds. So this one's very easy to interpret, even though it's quite busy. I liked it a lot. Number 9, Dallas. This screams Texas, but with like a Dallas flavor. So in the middle, it's almost like a badge that you'd see on, what do you call them? A Ranger, a Texas Ranger. I'm sure it's not, but that's what it reminds me of. So yeah, I don't know, just picture like a Texas Ranger with a cowboy hat on and a Magnum on his side and kind of that, right on his chest or something like that. So it's cool. I really like this flag, and I just like the little subtle, that thin white line that kind of goes through there as well. So really cool flag. Number 8, Florida. So Florida does not play in Miami. They play in a town called Sunrise, which is basically in the middle of nowhere. They don't have a city flag. They're not a city. I couldn't even find a town flag for Sunrise. So I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Well, I've got to use the state flag, and they also use this on their jersey. So this is a weird one, kind of like Colorado, where they're named after the state, but Colorado has a city flag because they play in Denver, but Florida doesn't because they play in Sunrise. Anyways, I would think this makes sense to most people, so we're just gonna go with it. I do love this flag though. I'm just so used to it. Like I'm very exposed to this flag, so I almost have like a predetermined opinion of this flag. So I really like it. I like the cross. I like seeing it on their jersey, and I like the symbolism in the middle as well. There's a palm tree. There's a girl in there with some flowers and stuff. Like Florida's an extremely vibrant state, so it's lovely to see that. And then the sunrise in there as well. Just a really cool piece of imagery in the middle. Number 7, Vancouver. I don't know, there's just something about this. It's not the prettiest, it's not the most intricate, it's almost a little strange as far as arrangement, but it's very unique, like extremely unique. There's just a lot of interesting shapes going on. There's some angular shaping on the left-hand side. It's almost like brick and mortar kind of symbolism in that little shield with some yellow, but then the whole rest of the flag, which really eats up the majority of the space, really represents some ocean or some water. Vancouver's right on the coast, the western coast of Canada, so I like that symbolism and call out there. It's also an extremely green state, so having some green in the flag really makes sense as well. So it's all over the place a little bit, but for some reason, for whatever reason, I just didn't mind it here for this one. Number 6, Ottawa. I love this flag. It's just, I don't know, it's just it's just completely different. Like the green or the teal, I guess, and the blue look great together, but just the kind of the weird, like almost hurricane-shaped O that's kind of taking form here. I don't know what that's necessarily supposed to symbolize other than an O for Ottawa, but I like it. Like it helps split the colors in two. It's a really standout flag, and for that reason, I had to put it in the top 10. Number 5, we got Tampa Bay. Just for the uniqueness and shape of this flag, had to be top 5. It's also really cool. Listen, there's a lot going on here. We've got red, blue, stars, yellow, different shade of yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, different shade of yellow, white, over to some angular red striping, back to some blue striping, some green, a random bigger star in a blue like diamond thing, and then like what is going on in this flag? Like, there's just so much going on. But the shape of it is really interesting. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the Ohio State flag, but that's got a unique shape to it as well. So that kind of reminds me of this. I also like the boat symbolism in there as well. It's a call out to being on the ocean, Gulf of Mexico, and yeah, I just it's busy, it's crazy, it's really crazy, but I really appreciate the unique shape here for this one. Number 4, Buffalo. Kind of like with Florida, I'm very exposed to this flag on the back of the home and the away Buffalo Sabres jerseys. Right back here on the neck, there is a call out to this flag. So Buffalo really appreciates their history, where they've come from, their city, and they call that out right on the jersey. So I had to put this in the top 4. It's also a really cool flag. It's got some like lightning bolts coming out and stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. You got a lighthouse in there and some ships and some shore, which is really cool too. So a lot of color going on. It's a very simple jersey. Simple jersey. There you go. I did it again. Calling this a jersey. Very simple flag, but I like it. Number 3. Denver, not Colorado, Denver. We can't use this. The Avalanche play rather in Denver. So I decided to choose the Denver flag. But I love it. Like I really love it. It is so simple. Blue, yellow, white, red. Simple shapes. Got some triangles which represent mountains. The circle represents the sun. What more do you need? It's very symmetrical even. So this would be, I need to get this flag. Like I would love to have this Denver flag. Good job on this one, Denver. Number 2, Arizona. So again, kind of a weird one here with the Arizona Coyotes. They don't play in Phoenix. They play in like away from Phoenix, but they used to play in Phoenix, but I can't use the Phoenix city flag because they don't play in Phoenix anymore. So they're called the Arizona Coyotes. They use a little bit of the symbolism in some of their graphics. I got to go with the Arizona State flag. So this one is, I guess, a little bit of cheating. Maybe I shouldn't rank it in the top 3, but there's no question that this is an undeniably beautiful flag. I do have this actually in my collection, which is it's one of my favorite flags ever. So I guess maybe this ranking or this position of this one might be a little bit biased, but I think objectively even as well, a lot of people would have this ranked pretty high. It's just a beautiful flag. It represents, Arizona has some of the most beautiful sunsets in the entire world. That's represented in here. The blue and everything contrasts very nicely. A lot going on, obviously, but yeah, very iconic flag. And number 1, I put St. Louis without a question. As soon as I started this ranking. And typically when I rank things, I start at the last. Which one do I dislike the most? And I work my way up to 1. When I started this ranking, I started with 1 because I already knew what it was. What number 1 was going to be. St. Louis. Number 1, this has kind of a connection to some French symbolism with the fleur-de-lis, and New Brunswick is in Canada, where I live, is the only official bilingual province in Canada. Actually, I don't speak French. I understand a little bit of hockey French, but that's basically it. And also, New Brunswick borders Quebec, which is a primarily French-speaking province, so I'm very familiar with the fleur-de-lis and stuff. I like that call-out, okay? That almost feels like home to me. And then the colorization here that's going on in the background, red, blue, and white look great, and there's some river symbolization, I think, happening maybe in the background. And the St. Louis Blues also use this as a call-out on their jersey. They use that symbolism in the back of their, at least, home jersey. I don't know if they do it in their away jersey. I have both. I just can't remember if the away jersey has it, but it is in at least one of their jerseys, and it looks beautiful back there. In fact, we're going to be ranking the collars coming up very soon on the channel. That doesn't include the back of the neck, but you're going to be able to see that if you haven't seen it before. However, we did just rank the inside of the neck area, which I just talked about a little bit. That video is available, so if you want to go check that out, please go do it. It's on the channel. It was released maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Had a lot of fun doing that video. But as far as the flag, this is it. This takes the cake for me. St. Louis, you're number one. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I do not expect for you guys to have the same ranking here. It's all subjective. There really is no right or wrong. It's all for fun, right? So I would love it if you have a couple of minutes for you to have some fun and leave your comments down below in the comment section. Let me know what was your favorite, what was your least favorite, and yeah, hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time today that you've taken out of your day to watch me, and I'll surely talk to you guys tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. Adios.